Welcome to Elsewhere True Crime. We are very glad you're here. The man in our story today renovated another man's house for his girlfriend, then found her in that man's bed. It's just a start. Definitely not the most crazy parts of the story. This one runs a bit long. There are so many plot twists. But if you stick with it, you'll probably end up thinking, what the hell? People like this actually exist? We start with a man named Sean living in Perth, Australia. Sean is a hardworking, outgoing guy. He coaches kids soccer, organizes community events, helps care for people with disabilities. Friends and family think highly of him. You probably know someone like that in your life, who's kind, gentle, and reliable. He is for sure popular, but doesn't really have the best luck when it comes to his love life, according to himself. He's in his 30s, still hasn't found someone to settle down with, and this really pains him because he really wants that family life. So he puts his hope on good old Tinder. In 2016, just days after signing up, he meets a woman named Arrow. She's exactly his type, confident, funny, and self possessed. Arrow tells him she's a single mom who just moved from the UK to Australia. She has a 6 month old daughter, let's call her Stella, and the two of them live out of a van they converted into a camper because she loves the lifestyle. Sean doesn't mind the baby, she actually loves kids, and he admires Arrow's independence and grit. After chatting for a while, they decide to meet. First date is a nice picnic. Snacks, drinks, talking for hours. Arrow looks and sounds exactly like she did online. Absolutely no fake persona. She confides that her real name is Rebecca Gray. She says she fled the UK to escape Stella's father, a controlling abuser. Sean's protective instincts go into overdrive. By the end of the day, he thinks, this is her. This is who I've been looking for. They start dating. It all looks perfect. A few months in, Rebecca feels unwell, goes to the hospital, and is diagnosed with late stage liver cancer. Doctors say she has around 6 months left. The news, as you can imagine, hits Sean like a truck. Rebecca, though, she stays calm and comforts him. She says she's been sickly since childhood. Doctors once claimed she wouldn't live to adulthood. And look, sometimes doctors are just wrong, right? She tells Sean she understands what this means, and if he ever wants to leave, she won't blame him. That melts him. He decides, I am going to make sure this woman has a happy, regret free final stretch. Very quickly, Sean realizes this woman is even tougher than he thought. Rebecca insists on going to treatments alone. It kind of makes sense, right? Like she says, chemo is brutal. She doesn't want him to remember her at her worst. She wants to live him with her best. Sean respects that. And right now, he come to realize there's something even more urgent than holding her hand. Remember, Rebecca fled the UK with almost no savings, living like some sort of travel blogger, and she has no Australian health insurance. Money is definitely tight. She's stubborn about finding work, but which company wants an employee who's constantly at the hospital? Sean figures the best thing he can do is earn. So he starts stacking jobs. On top of everything else, he drives Uber through the night. Anything he can do to fund Rebecca's treatments. More work means less time with friends and family, and people notice, especially his mom, Diane. When she learns her son is dating a woman with late stage cancer, her feelings are, well, very complicated. She wants to meet the woman who's captured Sean's heart. Coincidentally, a few months later, Rebecca says she wants to tick off a dream, a road trip from Perth to Adelaide. Sean loves it. She can fulfill her wish, and he can introduce her to his mom, who lives in Adelaide. So Sean, Rebecca, and baby Stella set off. They travel for days, have a great time, and arrive safely. Sean introduces Rebecca to Diane, and Diane also falls for Rebecca's courage and warmth. They get on beautifully. Everything looks smooth, except for some little moments on the trip. A few times while Rebecca showers, her phone, which she left outside, lights up with "Hey baby" texts. Sean sees them and they fight. Rebecca explains, yes, it's a guy, but he's gay. He's her best friend, so he calls her baby. He's just asking how the trip is going and sending love to Stella. Sean still has doubts, which vanish a few days later when Rebecca says she is pregnant. Sean, who adores kids, is absolutely over the moon. Rebecca wants to go back to her Perth hospital for a checkup, but she wants to take Stella and go alone. Reason one, she said, Sean should spend time with his mom while he is in Adelaide. And number two, she wants a little quiet time with her daughter before the newborn arrives. Sean resists. I mean, she's ill, it's a really long trip, but she says she's mapped the route and there are hospitals along the way. He eventually gives in. Rebecca and Stella head out. Well, Rebecca does not drive in the home direction. Instead, she goes to Adelaide Airport to pick up a man named Steve. Who's Steve, you might ask? Well, he's a gay bestie, the baby texter. And no, he is not gay. 2 weeks before Rebecca matches with Sean on Tinder, she'd match with Steve on the same app. Same old story, fleeing Stella's father, cancer, the works. The only difference this time, Sean accidentally saw text, so now there is a pregnancy to keep him locked in. Well, I guess now it's all clear, right? Why the cancer? Why she goes to treatments alone? It lets her, first, use two kind minds' compassion to raise medical money, and second, switch between them without getting caught. Even without chemo days. Situations like this road trip, for example, works, right? Outbound with Sean, return with Steve. To keep Sean convinced, she spams him with selfies of her and Stella on the way back and adds a steady drip of emergencies, for example, car trouble. Always calling Sean to calm her down, to keep his emotions flowing in the direction she wants. A month later, she plans another move, a campaign trip with friends. She picks a day when Sean's out of work and goes with Steve. I mean, even if Steve weren't going, she would not invite Sean. She needs this trip for a plot point. She suddenly feels unwell and tells Sean, in tears, that she's had a miscarriage. That baby had to be handled somehow, right? And if you think this was just to patch up previous lies, well, my friend, you are truly underestimating her. For Sean, the miscarriage is crushing. Rebecca seems even more devastated. And right then, another crisis occurs. Stella's biological father is suing for custody, but Rebecca has no money for a lawyer. If she loses Stella, what's left? Sean does what you would expect, hands over money. She runs the same custody script on Steve. 2 wallets, 1 story. And then it escalates. Sean doesn't have much. Most of the lawyer money comes from his mom, Diane. You might think, after she drains him, she dumps him, right? But let me tell you, top tier players keep squeezing even when the well looks dry. One day, she says to Sean, a friend just bought a house and needs it renovated. Why don't we take the job and earn some cash? Sean is moved. She is this sick and she still wants to help him earn. He jumps in. Well, you guessed it. The house belongs to Steve. He's about to go on a long business trip, so he asks Rebecca to handle the makeover, and she hands the labor to Sean. After weeks of work, the place is ready just before Steve returns. He is deeply touched that his gravely ill girlfriend manages all this. He pays $4,000. Rebecca passes the cash to Sean. And within days, it's treatment time again. So that money ends up right back in Rebecca's pocket. 3 birds, 1 stone. Everyone's smiling. But here's the flaw. With Steve now home all day, enjoying his newly renovated home, obviously, Rebecca cannot manufacture as many daily updates for Sean. So she tries a hard disappear. My guess is that she planned to vanish a few days, then reappear with my condition worsened. ICU, the works, right? Not only it covers the silence, it can also help her raise more money. That's just my guess because it does not happen. She misjudges Sean's love and worry. The moment she goes dark, he panics. He needs to find her. Except he realized that he has no contact for any of her friends or family. The only lead is a house that he recently renovated because, the house owner is Rebecca's friend. He goes, knocks on the door. Steve opens the door. Do you know Rebecca? Yes. Do you know where she is? She is inside the house. Steve looks really confused. Sean freezes, then bolts past Steve. He knows the layout. I mean, he renovated the place. And in the men's bedroom, on the bed, lies Rebecca, disheveled. You may think that she's definitely going to panic, right? No, even now, she's unflappable. She dresses calmly, pulls Sean back to the car miraculously. It's not what you think, she says. The man inside? Well, that's her gay bestie. They gossiped too late, so she crashed there. He slept on the couch. Just don't overthink it. And somehow, Sean believes. I don't think he's like dumb or, stupid or anything. I think he's just not ready to accept the alternative. But now she has to manage Steve, right? But luckily, she dragged Sean out before he could say much. To Steve, she shrugs. That's just a friend. He had something urgent. Steve wants to ask more. She says she needs the bathroom. And this is where her habit of not checking her phone in the bathroom betrays her. While she's in there, Sean texts her multiple times. Steve sees the phone going off and just quietly puts it back. When she comes out, he casually says, "You got a bunch of messages. Who from?" She glances and says, "Oh, my mom, checking on Stella." Steve knows she's lying, obviously, so she starts asking real questions. And it happens so suddenly, she cannot keep up. And then she pulls a curveball, rolls her eyes back, and collapses. I mean, technically, it tracks, right? She is a seriously ill patient. If it were Sean, she'd rush her to the hospital. She'd buy time, reset the board like she did before. But Steve is not Sean. He does not rush anywhere. He unlocks her phone and spends 2 hours reading everything between her and Sean. And only then does he grasp who he's dealing with. After that, Steve does not hate Sean. He feels kinship. He uses Rebecca's phone to summarize everything: road trip, camping, miscarriage, all of it, and sends it to Sean in a text. When Rebecca wakes up, the world has changed. Steve says he's already spoken to Sean and then just kicks her out. Rebecca still tries to rally. Look at her. She knows Steve's done with her, but Sean is soft hearted. She calls Sean right away. Steve's crazy. Everything he told you is lies. For a moment, the whiplash almost breaks Sean. He even wonders if Steve is an imaginary character he invented. Well, eventually Sean calms down, obviously, and decides one side of the story is not enough. Sean somehow reaches Rebecca's ex in the UK. The ex says he never abused Rebecca or Stella. They were together 4 years. They broke up because he realized something was seriously off. Oh, of course, Rebecca claimed that she had terminal liver cancer back then too. Sean phrases again. That disease, you just don't survive it that long. So, was the cancer a lie all along, too? He calls Rebecca. Let's go to the hospital together. If you're sick, I will believe you. And guess what? Rebecca vanishes without a trace. Once Sean wakes up, he does not let this go. He tracks down Rebecca's family and learns even more. Her mother is exhausted by her. Since around 2007, Rebecca's been running the terminal cancer play and scamming people. At least the four men, that's a minimum they can confirm. On top of living expenses, she's extracted large sums of cash. Most of the men didn't press charges, pride, shame, whatever they're thinking. But then Rebecca does something unbelievable. After being exposed, she goes to the police and reports Sean for stalking and threatening her. Sean has to go in and tell the whole story. The police are furious. They called Rebecca back under the stalking complaint and immediately opened a fraud investigation. In the end, three men testify. Rebecca pleads guilty. In court, she shows up on crutches or in a wheelchair. She's still playing the sick role. She's giving 8 months suspended with community service, which, I mean, let's be honest, right? Probably leaves room for a new name and a fresh start somewhere else. Sean and Steve, they both like Stella a lot. They become friends with her dad. The three of them make a group chat called Three Men and a Baby. I think this is just like what Sean's mom, Diane, said in the end. I guess there's something good that comes out of pretty much any situation. Well, there you have it. This is the story of Rebecca Gray. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.